Load your charge packs, lock your armor, and leap out into the void. This is the Galaxy's Edge podcast, and we have special guest Laupax Alter Ego. How are
It's
you?
true.
That's fantastic. Welcome aboard, Jason. Always excited to have you.
It's always fun to be here. This is the best Galaxy's Edge show that there is.
And if there's any others, we'll hunt them down. We have.
It's still kind of bad.
That's all right. We try not to mind. We have Archangel riding shotgun in the middle.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Dark Ops 169 Moggs. How are you, sir?
Doing well.
Our featured insider tonight, Dark Ops 093. How are you, sir? Yeah, I got nothing.
The speed right there.
And running in and around Discord, we have Dark Ops Daniel.
Hello.
And speaking of which, what's been going on in Discord, Daniel?
Dude, so much has been going on. We got the beta that for the hold on a second. I got somebody feeding back. But we had the server test go down for the 8-bit GE game, Outpost Zulu, if you guys have been seeing that. So that was really cool. Noob, the art developer, has been pretty going pretty hard on it. It was only this last 2 weeks where I guess him and the other main developer kind of, ran into a wall where they're just like, all right, we've been going like straight working on it for like a solid month. We're going to just take a break. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. But you guys need to get back to the sweatshop pretty soon,
Have you gotten to see any playtest footage or anything like that?
Yes. I'll pop you over a little video that they got of them, shooting at each other, some cubes and stuff in a bit. But yeah, I think it's right here. If you go to Outpost Zulu discussion, I'll tag you in it and scroll up just a bit. There's a little video.
All right, rock and roll. So while we're doing that, what else has been going on in Discord?
People been doing the Obsidian Crow Workout Bay stuff. The Ornstein is the guy that has been coming up with some workout programs, and so he's helping guide people on that. Being their physical fitness trainer essentially. It's pretty cool, and other than that, people are just like cashing up on the books with all those Dark Ops books just flying out into our phones and stuff like that. People have just been like, oh, So they're finishing up the books and catching up. It's really cool.
What was it like to be able to crack the whip on Doc Spears there, Jason?
You're always a little hesitant to crack anything over Doc Spears, but because like whatever it is, he can take it and kill you with it, even if it's just a few words on paper. But you don't have to crack anything over that guy's head, man. He is one thing I've noticed now that I've worked with guys in special forces, rangers, just highly motivated individuals in general. It's like, man, you don't have to crack the whip at all. Those guys are self-cracking, right? Like every time it's just like, yeah, man. You kind of make me feel bad here. So there's no motivation. That guy is a machine.
That's because they don't need sleep.
That helps too, right? Yeah.
Hell yeah. I just finished Exigency on audio, so I'm looking to get into the next one. How has
no fail on audio?
What's that?
No fail on audio. Exigency isn't out yet on audio.
Oh no, I have an app that reads it back to me.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's cheating.
I cheat.
We'll let that one fly.
Yeah, because it's really hard to read a book and handle a 70-pound Malinois at the same time.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I tried it. It doesn't work so hot, especially when you're trying to pull the damn dog out of the tree. But
is that why you were away?
Oh. Yeah, he's he was I was a little late because he's having a bit of an issue. We think he might have either gotten into something or he didn't spit out the squirrel after he killed it. So it could be a thing. And speaking of a thing, we have the Doom trooper
Nice.
rocking over Ingram Matt.
Oh, it's hot under that helmet. G'day, ladies and gents. How's all going?
That was a very Spaceballs entrance.
It was. I approve.
Who is Doc Helmet?
Zoom in on that camera until
Bump.
Right on. So we've been seeing a lot of things hitting around the Galaxy's Edge fan club, and one of the things that's really been driving people crazy is Mr. Thompson's renditions of the miniatures and kind of maximatures of his statues. I mean, how about those things? Have you guys gotten them?
mine's supposed to be in the mail.
Yeah, I got my Dark Ops Trooper
Very cool.
the other day, and I got the large one. But from what I hear, he made the extra large one for you guys, Jason and Nick. This thing like 3 feet tall or something like that.
Nick has his, and he says it's the big boy. Mine's still inbound because I asked him to give me a surprise paint job, and he made it into a shock trooper. So I've been checking the mail every day like Ralphie, just kind of running out there, opening it up, nothing. But it's coming. I know it's coming. You wouldn't steer me wrong.
Right on. And he's done all sorts of stuff. I mean, as far as like fabrication and stuff like that. He just unveiled, I'm trying to get to it now, but he just unveiled another sculpt of a sniper.
Yeah.
The sniper version of that. Is he collaborating with you at all, or he's just kind of ripping off the artwork from the covers and sending them off to a modeler?
He's using the kind of quasi open license that we have with a lot of guys, like we have with Clint there in Australia, where it's like, if you want to do something for the community, you can go ahead and do it as long as you specify that, it's not official Galaxy's Edge merchandise. And as long as you're just asking for compensation for, materials plus, your reasonable time, you're not looking to build an empire off of us without us knowing. But, that's kind of out there for anyone that wants to create. We'd rather Galaxy's Edge get out there. Same with the guys that make some of the custom helmets and things like that. Rather get out there than, pull a Paramount and pull a Star Trek and just try to like have our claws on everything and just grind the fandom to a halt. So yeah, we know about it. He asked about it ahead of time. We said, yeah, just go for it. And if you ever ramp it up to a point where you say, hey, I think I can sell these in stores, come back to us and talk again.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of like how Clint does it with the Legion crest and the challenge coins.
Yep, exactly. Same thing. And yeah, really for anyone else that has anything like that. And you can see the sniper Leej right there. That just looks pretty stinking cool.
oh yeah, you got the N18 right too.
Yeah, he's done a really good job.
So I mean, the just the profile and the I like the boots. he's got them in tanker boots. Just the profile.
That's one thing with a lot of cosplayers, a lot of model artists. Everything I've noticed too is that they'll go full attention to detail on the whole outfit, but boots. And he's actually done boots, so I'm quite happy about that.
Right
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
he said he pulled that image from the cover of Turning Point. That was kind of his inspiration, the cover of Turning Point there. And he's doing some really cool stuff with it. And his painting looks good too.
Yeah, he's done some really good paint jobs on these. He's got he's done a variety of paint jobs, even up to and including the Lark version for JR's reservist.
Jolly Roger Handley. Did you know that's what JR stands for?
I did not.
Yeah, I found that out just today, actually.
I believe it.
His parents were Somali pirates.
Wow.
They're embarrassed about it, and so is he, which is why I'm
I
telling
can see
you.
the resemblance though.
Well, you've never actually seen him, right? You see like that. You see that picture.
avatar.
Yeah, you see the avatar, and now you know why.
Oh, they went like
So,
that. He sends me photos all the time, mate. Every day. I enjoy his selfies.
So what happened was his parents assaulted a Navy ship, and then the SEALs adopted him, and he couldn't hack it with them, so they pawned him off to the Army.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is basically. Yeah, I understand that she went into labor on board the ship, and I think that counts. So he's got his
That's fair.
citizenship at least.
That's fair. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah,
He
he
tried to pull that "look at me, I'm the captain now" stuff, didn't he?
He does that every time you'll ever meet him. Yeah, even before the movie came out.
yeah, he's quite the character. But here we have another paint job done on, and I think this is one of the extra larges that he's working on.
That was supposed to be Bear, but he accidentally did the arms instead of the legs.
Too soon.
Oof.
Season 2 is about to start. I think enough time has passed.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job on some of these sculpts. They're just really amazing. The paint job is really well done. I think this one, Jason, did you ask for one to be done specifically for Dark Ops?
I just said surprise me, and he said,
here's a shock trooper.
Shock trooper. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was a pretty good interpretation of the shock troopers.
Yeah, he's got some. His textures are really incredible as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's badass.
Yeah,
that's
no,
absolutely
good work,
badass.
man. If you're watching.
So yeah, lots of bullet hole, or rather blaster bolt burns. He's got the the N4. You have to give him props because he does have trigger discipline. So we those veterans of us aren't going to get triggered.
Full Navy SEAL,
Fun
right?
fact about that bottle too.
This is my trigger discipline.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost had a stroke when I saw that in that movie.
I thought it was a good idea to try and print out the model myself. And I don't have a photo of me, but if you've ever seen 3D printed spaghetti, that's exactly what it turned out like halfway up. And it was weird. It was like legs, perfect legs, spaghetti. And then a head just sitting on top. I'm going,
You know what you did? You just made yourself a Savage Marine. Like just
probably did.
dig a hole and be like, Savage.
This one came out wrong.
So are we going to see Savage models? Are we going to see a giant Minotaur mech? Because that would be badass.
Walt, we're actually talking about producing some mechs in line with the Galaxy's Edge game that Walt's Hazard Studios is working on, the RPG. So, I think we're going to start with the stuff that everybody wants, the Legion models. But if we see, I think the way I see it, Walt, and you can chime in because you're the expert. I only enjoy games. I don't, I'm not an expert game maker like you. But, I think we start with Legionnaires, and that's easy to paint and make Dark Ops if you want to. And then maybe we go and we say, all right, let's do a combat sled. That's actually something I can tell you guys. There's an artist named Hans Jensen who does a lot of Star Wars art. Like if you've seen those cutaway pictures of like an X-Wing where it kind of shows like a cross section and here's what goes in the S-foil. Here's what the inside of the cockpit. We've got him working on a variation of that where he's going to take a combat sled and just show us the inside out of a combat sled. Here's the jump seats. Here's where the skin packs are. Here's where the pilots sit. So we're pretty excited about that. We figure when we have that, we'll have enough angles and looks to be able to potentially make that the first full-size vehicle that'll go along with the Legion minis themselves. So you get the ramps drop and you have them spill out. And man, if people like them, let's go ahead and add Savage Marines. Let's add Savage Minotaurs. Let's just go all out.
Oh my God, so exciting! Go ahead, Archangel.
I honestly can't help but picture the Savage Marines as the creepy mutations from Pandora.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have seen that movie,
Yeah.
That's exactly what comes to mind. Like whenever you're talking about Prometheus or something, or them running through the streets of New Vega, I'm just like, they're just jumping from buildings like spider monkeys and they're psychos. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. They're supposed to be unsettling, right? Like, so, but the nice thing about the Savages really is anything that you want, any bizarre train you want to take through like a post-human evolution, you can probably find a Savage Hulk that at least experimented along those lines. So the sky's the limit with them.
A Rex model. That would be cool.
Yeah. Actually, Walt, right? We talked about that.
Except Walt didn't talk because his voice don't work.
No, I tell him to mute so that he says whatever I want him to say.
Oh,
yeah, you just got to wait till my mouth
God,
is moving.
you're so
and
smart.
And then it'll be awesome. It'll be like one of those Japanese kaiju movies where my voice never lines up with how my mouth is moving. But yeah, we can totally make that Rex model happen. And then The good thing about 28 millimeter and 30 millimeter miniature models is that there's so much stuff already out there. And people are doing like some crazy work on things like Etsy and all that stuff. You can almost get stuff to kind of fill your ranks and put on the table against your Legionnaire squad until such time as we can, work everything in house. And we're going to be working with a batch of guys who really kind of have their stuff together and know how to model and know how to distribute. So we should hopefully have our thumb on that button really, really soon. Depress that butterfly and shoot some stuff downrange to you guys. Go around the panel. What kind of models would you want to see? I mean, we've heard everything from like Coops to Savages and stuff like that. Obviously, the combat sled is going to be like a huge draw because everybody loves those things. But how about you guys? What would you like to see on the game table?
The Indelible 6. That Natine Light Freighter. Let's see it. Mm-hmm. With like the blasters deployed. Come on. You got to.
Full scale, right? It's just got to dwarf your table.
Yeah, full scale.
Whoa,
no.
Full scale. Full scale. That's gonna be big. That's gonna
like
be
1-to-1, like actual size, like it's out in my front yard.
Yeah,
just go hang out in it.
Cops pulling up. You got a permit for that thing?
What is plastic, man?
How about it, Moggs? What kind of models would you like to see on the game table?
I'm kind of thinking the Vertals from Tin Man. APC and gunship types. That'd be pretty cool.
All the slicks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Tri-Fighters be pretty sweet.
Beat me to it.
Matt's got to think of something else now.
That's because you got two Air Force boys on the stream.
Yeah, Air Force represent. Grunts, go away, please. Poke life, mate.
Can't argue with you,
Daniel. What would you want to see on the table?
Oh, did you ask me? I thought you said we were still waiting on Matt.
No.
For me, I want to see some HKPPs. I want to see some big old mechs. Some mech warrior status. I think that'd be cool. Are you running out of things to request there, Matt?
Yeah, you got you kind of stolen everything. Shit, what am I gonna do?
Do you want me to just have them sculpt some Endurian models?
I was about to say the Endurians or Trinarians.
Mm-hmm.
We broke that.
Like anime girl status. Maybe just for you.
handle it.
The Galaxy Dead waifus from Matt.
Have an Endurian jump out of a Senasian samurai mech. He'll just lose it. He won't be able to handle it.
Cenarian waifu pillow.
I'm so glad I'm awake for this. Yeah. Tri-Fighters and mechs. There you go. You guys have stolen my thunder, so you can have pretty much whatever you want.
Right on.
Now we'll go
Noob Kicks was saying that he wants a tabletop GE war game. Now that's also something we're working on as a side project. And one of the things that we were thinking about doing is having the copy of the tabletop war game boxed up in along with a Legion squad, and you have that as your beginner box.
Hey, Mr. Walt. I mean, this way. How's our progress on that? Can we talk about anything yet?
Yeah, if you want. So I'm talking to the modeler now. We're going to be doing some revisions. We got to nail down some like legal stuff that isn't really a lot of fun to talk about on a podcast. It's stuff that, like if you really want to Law and Order it up, I mean, just there's plenty of that stuff on TV. You don't need us talking about it. But once that stuff is hammered out, it's going to be balls to the wall because these guys are an honest to goodness studio. They are used to putting out large collections of models and have the capacity to produce thousands at once. So they don't foresee any problems kind of getting what we need and when we need it. So that's going to be just fantastic. Did
you manage to pull some people from in the community or out of the community? They
are from the community. Right.
Okay.
And so, in fact, they've been posting pretty regularly on the Facebook group. Let me put this up here. Hopefully my cat doesn't bite me, and boom.
Always our preference, right? Is guys in the community. Or
Yeah.
guys.
Right. So here's from the Facebook group, the 2 models. So we got to work on revisions on some of the legs and shoulder armor. But one of the things that we were pretty happy about is the fact that they do understand a military knife hand, and they have that first and foremost out into the front. So that's good. But they can produce these fairly quickly and at a price that will not break your bank. And they can do vehicles, they can do all sorts of stuff. And one of the things that I was pretty excited about in talking with them is they kind of have like a proven ability to get this stuff out there. So we don't have to worry about something unproven. And then Templar is going to be, who is also on the Discord and does a lot of good stuff with us. He's going to have, we're working with him to get his tabletop rules revised. Once he's got everything locked in, and he's posted that in the Discord. So if you go to Discord and you go into the place where he's posted those rules, you can download those right now. If you can't find it on the quick, just send me an email on FaceSpace and I'll slide you a copy, because he's got it out there for everybody to look at. Put it on your table, try it, see how you like it, give us some feedback, and then we can always shoot it back out to him and say, hey, this is what we need to fix, this is what we need to keep. But yeah, he's going to be doing the actual beginner box rules. So like if you don't want an entire RPG, you just want like your game night in a box, break this out. It takes 5 minutes to learn, throw it all across the table, and then burn, baby, burn. That's the way that's the game that he's going to produce. So my studio, Hazard Studios, in conjunction with Galaxy's Edge, we're going to produce it, lay it out, art it up really, really, really pretty, and then get it out to everybody. It'll be at a decent price so that you don't have to break the bank. And I would like to get the box, if I can. I'd like to get the rules in digest size, which are fairly small. It's 6x9. It's a little bit bigger than an index card, right? Mm-hmm. And that way, what I can do is I can take some of these boxes, and they will ship well for things like guys overseas who like wargaming. We can pull that out and throw those to places like MWR. And if you've ever been overseas, MWR. Oh God, damn cat. MWR is just military welfare and recreation. It's places for soldiers to hang out while they're deployed and not feel like they're deployed for about 5 minutes. And it'd be a great way to what do you call it? Get some goodwill and cheer into the soldier community, and at the same time kind of push GE out there and say, hey, guess what? If you like this game, you will love these books.
Yeah,
that's my story.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to it.
Well, I mean, it's a great story, and I'm excited about it. What do you think, Jason?
Sure.
You think he's been a good boy? Think he's done good?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. Like, there are so many things that just would be awesome to see, and this is definitely one of them. And like we were telling Walt, and like a lot of you guys know, just keeping up on the content creation is a lot of work in and of itself. And so I do that. Plus, I run kind of Galaxy's Edge on the business side. So that takes up a lot of time. So there's 101 things that we would love to do, but we need capable, trustworthy people who are actually fans of the product and aren't just going to try to be like, oh, okay, yeah, let me shoehorn this in this idea I already have. But someone like Walt, someone like some of the other creators, they already know everything inside and out. They know why it works, and so we can trust them to put together a really good product, not skimp on quality, but also capture what it is, what it is to be a Galaxy's Edge game. So I'm excited for it. I mean, this is the only way I'm going to be able to see it. So I'm counting on Walt just like everybody else is.
And here are some of the sculpts from Enemy Spotted Studios. This is some of the stuff they do regularly, and if you zoom in a little bit, you can see the kind of detail. I mean, all the way down to and including this guy has what do you call it? Flashbangs, and then this guy is actually carrying grenade pouches on the side, so you can tell that they've done their homework in the sculpts. They know the difference between a flashbang and an M67 fragmentation grenade. So if they can bring that kind of detail onto the Galaxy's Edge models, then I have total confidence in what these guys can produce. And I mean,
that's great. That's some great detail. I'm just staring. I'm staring at that. I'm staring at your pouches, your carries, the whole lot. That's that's some pretty phenomenal bloody detail. Mate.
And here's the models to scale. These are actually the printed models that have all been painted. Like I said, the detail here has me very excited for the Galaxy's Edge models, just because of the fact that right here, where my mouse is hovering, there you have a smoke grenade, which you might do to use for extraction. You might do for obscurement, right? You have the small pouch on the side for the M67, which is, you always want covered. You don't want that it's not like you see in the movies where they're just hanging out and flopping all over the place. You don't want it. You don't want an exposed pin on a grenade where it can get caught. So, they got it in a pouch, but also chem lights. These guys have, chemical lights on the side, which is something that you use when you're going into a dark building. If you need to mark a room that has been cleared, or you need to mark an alley that has been, or a hallway that has been cleared, a chem light is a really great way to do it. And you can even, between squads and stuff like that, you can say, oh, wait a minute, this hallway has an orange chem light stuck into this one place. That means second squad's already been here. We can go to the next floor. It's little things like that and little details like that you feel like somebody's done their homework. The fact that they're not firing from the hip, they're firing from the shoulder. Somebody's done their homework. So it's little things like that just kind of make you very, very excited about what's to come and what they're going to be able to produce. So I have another meeting. Go ahead, please.
Can these guys be found on the Discord as well?
Yes. Yeah. They've been posting on the Discord too. So, they're pretty active across the community, and they're trying to interface with the community to see what people like and what they want and how they want things to go. And, like I said, we've been in talks with them for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. The thing that excites me the most about this is, you always want to go within the community to kind of build that camaraderie, so that that you have a product that was built by the fans for the fans. And the only downside to that is sometimes passion does not always equal ability. So you have to be realistic. If I asked a guy and said, hey, listen, I need a model and a sculpt of this by a month from now, right? And I get, well, I'm not really, I was doing this thing, and then this popped up, and it's this, there are realistic expectations. And then there's the guys that come and say, hey man, I'm a big fan of Galaxy's Edge. Here's 30 models I've produced in the last 4 minutes. Do you want a part of this action or not? And it's like, while partner A might realistically be able to produce the models at some point, partner B is ready to go right now. So unfortunately, in a business perspective, you want to go with partner B because you want to be able to get the product to the people that want it, whereas the other side of it. But once again, like I said, it's the detail in some of this stuff. And I think this image right here really says a lot, because you can see that
squad.
Yep. Excuse me. And you can see that they have different loadouts. They have, like this right here, this is actually a single model, because you have one model merged into another one. And you can either do this one of two ways. You can do it as a complete, where you have to file down all of this coming off of the printer, or you can do it where this piece and this arm are all one, and then you just glue this piece to it, right? But either way, you understand that special operators and guys in gear like this aren't going to be like, okay, line up at the door. Okay, 1, 2, 3, here we go. And we're go. It's quiet. Nobody says anything. When you're at the door, ready to stack, ready to kick down a door, ruin some hinges and ruin somebody's day, this is what you want to see. You want to see guys who are able to be lined up, and commands aren't yelled, they're felt. You feel that squeeze in the shoulder, the tap on the butt, and everybody might say, oh, you tapped you on the butt. You know how many nerves are in that back end of whatever, so you touch that and the sphincter clenches, it's time to roll through that door. You don't have time to second guess, like, hey, I'm tapping you, dude, you need to go. It's squeeze, go. And that's what this kind of model conveys. And, it makes me very excited for what they're going to be able to produce Galaxy's Edge wise. Like I said, the initial sculpts are a little rough. and they probably used some Halo models online. But I mean, even still, if you look at some of the stuff that you have in this, you have pouches, right? You have the shamag, which obviously was going to get fixed in post-production. You have the helmet accent. You even have a knife here along the forearm. Just little things that where a guy might personalize his kit a little different than standard Galaxy's Edge kit. It's kind of exciting to see that.
Yeah. That's really dope, and I'm really excited about that. And it'll be fun for us to actually be able, one day sit across the table and actually play this.
Yeah, once we're able to do it without the gas masks.
Yeah, I got a group of guys tomorrow night actually that I play D&D with every 2 weeks. So it'd be awesome just to bring in like a one shot for GE and say, hey, we're playing this tonight instead of our normal campaign, and because they're a bunch of nerds. So it's going to be awesome.
Speaking of D&D, hey Walt, when we gotta start running those GE streams again?
Once we close down the lights, I'll talk to you. And Archangel, if you want to stay around, or anybody who's interested, if you want to stay around for that, I'll hit you with the 5-minute spiel, and then we'll get going. But speaking of 5-minute spiel, since we don't have a Dark Ops Insider today. Jason, did you want to talk a little bit about Mission 22 and how Galaxy's Edge is getting involved?
Yeah. This is the second year in a row that we're doing a partnership with Mission 22 all through the month of November. If you're unfamiliar with Mission 22, they're a not-for-profit 501c3, and what they do is they don't just bring awareness to the issue of veteran suicide. They actually fund themselves and partner with other organizations that specifically do things for veterans. So what you'll find is that there's a lot of factors that go into this, right? That go into what goes on. But a lot of times there's a sense of isolation. There's a sense of just sort of feeling completely alienated once you go into the civilian world. And so there's a lot of programs that seek to kind of help people kind of get plugged back in to that sort of camaraderie and feeling of family that's so often missed. Really something that I think you can get in the Galaxy's Edge community, and I think a lot of guys have gotten it in the Galaxy's Edge community, that we're there for each other. So Mission 22 is an organization that just looks at all paths and works really hard to fight this. The name is derived from that statistic that you've probably heard about 22 veteran suicides happening on a daily basis. So we're really excited about being able to partner with them again. The way we contribute on our end is we put everything in our Galaxy's Edge shop up for sale, and 22% of all proceeds go to Mission 22. And there's some specially marked items there that have 100% of the proceeds going to them. So if you want to get, we still have some left over from last year. Actually, we have a few audio CDs signed by me and Nick and Mark Boyette. Our big new featured item this year are Savage Wars posters that are going to be signed by me and Nick, and also by Stephen Lang. Shows the covers from each book, and then the lotus pose in the middle. Lang has those now and is signing them. So as soon as we get them back, we're going to start shipping them. And then we try to unveil a lot of new products as well, so that if you kind of already have gotten a few things, there's something else to take a look at. One thing here, I'll try to put this up close to the camera. Hope you can see it. That's our, it's focusing. That's our hole buster patch right there. Republic Marines,
Nice.
Hell to Repel. You can see the Space Serpent is crushing a Savage Hulk right between its coils. So that is going to be up on the shop here pretty soon, within the next day or two. We've got the Kill Team 3 PVC patch right here that if you read deep into the Dark Operator series, you have that. We've got a couple of new shirts, and then we're going to make we've got a very limited run, and this is going to make Daniel feel bad, but we've got a very limited run of the brown and gold Legion Crest hats, which are going to be available just this month. Not there yet, but it's going to be up soon, just this month, and just for Mission 22. So that's kind of what we're doing. On the storefront, that's galaxiesedge.us/shop to look at all of our merchandise. You can also find a portal there where you can just donate directly to us, and that gets passed through 100% to Mission 22. No transaction fees are taken off or anything like that. Whole dollar gone over to Mission 22. So if you want to give, but you don't want to take the time to hunt them down and do it that way, you can certainly give through us. And then right now, if you go to Amazon and you look at the Requiem for Medusa ebook, the first Tyrus Rex book, that's on sale for 99 cents. It's going to be on sale for the entire week. And every single cent earned for Requiem for Medusa is going to be donated to Mission 22. And then next Friday, we'll be putting another book on sale. We're going to do that each week in the month of November. So last year, $10,000 raised for Mission 22. And it's not like Nick and I donated 9,999 of them. That was like a community effort. And we're hopeful we can at least do the same this year. Things are tougher, I think, this year than they were last year, but it's for a good cause. And we're already seeing just a lot of products fly off the shelf. My mailman looked angry when he came and picked up all the priorities today, but I was like, hey, see you tomorrow, man. That's kind of how it's been going.
Right on.
I managed to snag a Wild Man t-shirt myself, and I'm excited about that showing up.
Yeah, we've got a nice Wild Man Do Another One Babe shirt with a ghostly picture of his wife on top, kind of like a Day of the Dead style. That's another item that when those shirts are out, they're out. We're not printing them again. Same with a special kind of what we call KTF Vice for when you're kind of on the streets in your nice convertible sled, listening to In the Air Tonight and trying to chase down H8 dealers. We've got the KTF Vice shirt, and it's the exact same situation. When those are out, they're gone. We're not bringing them back. So we do have the evergreen stuff, like the Victory Company shirt that a lot of people are used to seeing. But we want to have some kind of cool special products that you really are going to get an opportunity really one time to get, and that's to spur you towards buying that when you know some of the proceeds are going to go to a good cause.
For sure.
One of the things that we have a tendency to, everybody's really had that one guy who, you thought, oh man, this guy's so put together, mm-hmm. right? And you really realize after the fact and after the negative goes down, they didn't have it together and they were trying to hide things on the inside. And that's a big thing about places like Mission 22. And if you go on Facebook, there's groups such as the Drinking Brothers, which was started by Matt Best, and is really all about just veterans screwing around or having that one place where it's mostly vets that they can talk to each other and stuff like that. But the big thing to remember is that there are real faces that go with this. So, I know Jason has said that he wanted some people that were a part of the community that had somebody who went down, and this is mine. So the guy on the right is this is when he was really, really young. This is one of my friends from high school. This is Keith. He's on the right here in full blown OP4 gear, playing an Atropian mercenary or what have you. So Keith eventually had gone into the 82nd Airborne. He went with my friend Chris. I went in a different direction, so we kind of separated for a little while. But after the fact, he had gone and done 20 years in the military, got out as a sergeant first class. Whole world was his oyster, everything. But I mean, the thing is that, secretly this dude was suffering, and he didn't make it. So he succumbed to that pressure that a lot of us feel and those dark thoughts that a lot of us have. And the thing is, if you have those thoughts, I'm on Facebook. So if you just look for Walt Robillard, right, and you need a minute, or you need a few minutes or whatever, you need somebody to talk to, hit me up. Got a lot of the Galaxy's Edge guys are the same way. If you have gone through hell and spilled mud and blood through your veins, out your teeth, and every other orifice you needed to get back home to your family, and now it doesn't feel like home, and you don't think you can walk another step, for God's sakes, please reach out. Galaxy's Edge community is a great community. There's civilians, there's vets, there's sci-fi nerds, there's people who don't even like sci-fi, who just love the books, but we all love to talk to each other, and it's a pretty tight-knit community. So Keith is a friend that now that I look back on, I wish I had checked in on more, and that's a burden that I now have to carry. But if I can just, as part of this broadcast, say that I never have to carry another burden like that on my shoulders, then I'll be a happy dude. So please, if you're having those problems, reach out. I mean, the least I can do is I can buy a copy of Legionnaire or whatever, and then we can shoot the shit and talk about it over coffee, and I'll even send you the coffee, right? But seriously, reach out if you're having those problems and those thoughts. Reach out. We'll on the back end of this, when it goes up to YouTube permanent, we'll make sure we put a couple of phone numbers there you can call. So yeah, definitely.
Don't forget about the in the Discord, we got the squad support channel. That's a channel where you actually need to read the thing under secondary roles and check mark your thing so you can actually get into that, because we keep that as a very safe place where you can say whatever needs to be said, and there's people here that will talk to you about stuff and help you work through your issues. But, we try to keep it all segregated off to the side, so that way, nobody feels like they need to be worried about people, messing with them or anything. So, yeah, we're here on Discord as well, and we help each other out.
Hell yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's not just guys that have gone through the military. Obviously, that has a big focus, but, we know it can be tough for guys in law enforcement. LEO has the same kind of issue. And really, man, it can be tough if you haven't done any of those things. And what you're going to find with Galaxy's Edge and the community that's built up around it is, it doesn't matter, man. We're here for you. So look at this as your fight, even if you're not in the military, even if you're like me and you never served. You don't have to serve. You don't have to be able to say, oh, I know what those feelings feel like, to be able to help, or to feel like you're important yourself.
Hell yeah, because sometimes all it takes is a friendly ear.
Yeah, just talking to somebody can take a huge load off your shoulders.
So hell yeah. And what better way to talk about stuff than through the lens of Galaxy's Edge?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Far enough in the future that you can just go ahead and hear some pulses in your ear and all your problems go away, right? Like they wipe your mind, right? Somehow Sergeant Fast doesn't know who he might be, right? There's
right.
ways now to get over it, but until that day comes.
I mean, the flip side is that you could just start listening to the Savage Wars books, and then you might start realizing, good thought.
Right, exactly.
And if you do need that specialized help, let us know. We will get Daniel to call you in the Laupak voice, and it'll be absolutely amazing.
Right.
So go ahead, Daniel. Give him a sample.
No! I am not treading that line. I'm sorry. That's up to you, man.
Not with the master sitting next to you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And what do you call it? So
which voice actor are we doing?
What's that?
Which voice were you trying to do, Daniel? What were you trying to do, mate?
They were saying that I should do Laupak. I'm not touching that one.
I don't know if you could trust Laupak to say the right thing in that situation anyway. This is just me, the author, coming through. I have a feeling that Laupak might try to size up how much money you had on you. And then depending on what the answer is, he might not give you best advice.
You feel sad how much money you got. Go ahead. Do
it. You look very rich. Maybe you're right.
Hey, just sign this document here. I'll be good.
Hell yeah. I don't even know where to go.
He's still Laupak. You don't become the pirate king by being nice to people.
Yeah, this is true. Speaking of which, about piracy, we were talking about possibly maybe, I don't know, looking into the Repub budget a little bit as the kind of the featured segment about Galaxy's Edge in our Galaxy's Edge podcast, and specifically as it pertains to the shiny armor. Where did the idea for that come from, Jason?
I think we're trying to think of something kind of like the typical what will look impressive, so that you can, to the public eye, be like, look at how much we support, but in reality is just absolute garbage, right? So we thought F-35, shiny armor. What can we say? This is really expensive. It looks really amazing, but is it as good as what came for it? And that was the thought. Like, who on Utopia, who in the House of Reason doesn't love a parade? and all the glitter and all the shine from these new pieces of armor going to look really good. And if they don't exactly stop every type of military grade weapon, does that really matter? I mean, who's going to fight the Republic anyway?
Yeah, that's bad. But we see it.
It's the Bradley when it first started.
There are some kinks, and we will get the points into better armor as soon as possible. We hear you.
Well, you ever seen the Pentagon Wars, that movie, or read the book that it's based on? That's instructive.
Okay.
I recommend you see.
I'm going to mute my mic and go to Amazon so I don't forget this.
But yeah, they did the Duffel blog did like a funny video about that, about the creation of the Bradley, and you know, how can we suck more money out of Congress? Let's build another tank. Oh, we already have, you know, we just updated the M1 and blah blah blah. And then they were like, what if we made it smaller and gave it a trunk? You know, and they go through, well, like,
then we can't fit the big gun on it. Well, just put a chain gun on it. That'll work too.
Yeah, people love it when you go full auto.
Overpriced.
Yeah, that was a funny video. But there's a lot of stuff like that out there, and the fact that in Galactic Outlaws, you know, you had Rex just realizing that these guys weren't acting as legionnaires; they were acting as tax collectors, and he was just mollywomping people with that hand cannon because their armor just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. I mean, did they think that did the House of Reason think that the more reflective armor would just make the laser beams go like that?
I think that was, well, if you follow the House of Reason's legal requirements for the power of a blaster bolt, then nothing should be able to harm that armor, right? So if you are firing a legal weapon at a Legionnaire, it will not hurt them. And so it stands to reason that nobody, because if you say this is the law regarding firearms, people obey the law, and the Legionnaires won't have any trouble. It's you know, it's like gun-free zones, right? Like once you declare it, nothing's going to happen.
Well, it's Dever said that in Legionnaire too when he was talking about it. He says it'll stand up to galactic legal blaster fire. Said, yeah, a couple of shinies is going to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
right. But that's
a couple of them will stand up to it. I mean, if you put one on top of the other, it's, you know, you're good, right?
It's true. That's true. Yeah. No, and you can probably imagine, probably not too far off, that there were probably some like legit Legion NCOs looking at that armor, doing everything they could to avoid rolling it out, and then, you know, hoping that they had a commander that wouldn't say anything when they draped some actual protective armor over the front, because they're like, okay, well, you know, the G are going to go ahead and shoot anyway, so let's be ready.
Yeah, they had the big push in the late 2000s. Everybody wanted to get a set of dragon scale armor. Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah.
Yes, dragon scale. Yes.
Heavy,
yes.
overpriced. Oh my god!
Yep. Everybody,
So,
and
the ADF tried to adopt it somehow, and practically the entire SF community was just like, no.
and that was the thing.
It works. It works, but it's too much.
And that's the thing. It worked in the right conditions, because what happened was what's really sparked a big debate is there was an American Army unit where the local community that a couple of kids were from put some money together, and they bought the entire unit dragon scale armor. Right. So this whole town got together. They put this whole thing going on. They bought the unit dragons. Each person got a set of the armor. And the army was immediately like, oh, hell no. Right. So they did some more testing. And what some of the alphabet soup units found out was that in extreme heat. Now, if you look at this stuff, it looks like little hexes all kind of like stuck together. And then there's a layer of bullet resistant material in the back, and then more hexes, right? So under optimum conditions, this very expensive armor stopped anything until it got warm. So anything over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and the protective coating in the back and the glue started losing its cohesiveness. It started producing gaps. So Yeah, there was a problem with that. So I mean, the sometimes more expensive doesn't necessarily mean, that it's going to be better.
So is that a fault of the product itself, or and engineering, or is that just a fault of the components that they used? Because it sounds to me like if they would have worked with the formula for the coating and stuff and the materials that they were using, it would be fine for high temp areas as well.
Well, what you had is you had two separate groups working on kind of like a mirror image of what they wanted. So the United States Army wanted SAPI, right? They wanted that forward-facing strike plates so that if you got hit, it had to travel through a layer of Kevlar, a layer of ceramic, a steel plate, more ceramic, more Kevlar before it got to your body, right? The only downside was they're heavy, they're inflexible, they're hard to work with, right? So the Army was like, look, this will stop bullets. Right. And these dragon scale guys was like, we need something where our soldiers can move, but also can resist gunfire. So what was happening was they were approaching things from two different sides and they weren't working together. And you saw this in the latest camouflage that you have. Right. So you have what's it called? ACM or something like that. Moggs, what's the new camouflage that replaced ACU?
OCP. Operational camouflage pattern. I think that's it.
Now the thing is, no, you don't know me, right? So, what happened was this one company was like, look, we have something that'll blend into anything, right? We call it multicam. It's awesome. This stuff blends into anything. And the Army was like, wow, this is amazing. How much do you want for it? We'll sell you the whole pattern, lock, stock, and barrel for this much. And the government was like, no. And what they did was they took some of the samples that the multicam guys sent them, and they changed like two pieces of the pattern, and then just said, "Oh, this is our OCP," and that's part of the problem that you're having with the dragon scale armor and things like it. The Army wants to go one way, these private contractors want to go another, and they're not necessarily joining forces to match the resources to what they need, which is why the dragon scale didn't work in the first place, because they weren't exposing it to operational temperatures.
Well, you want to know something funny about this too? It's different armors designed to do different things in different time frames too. Because if you look back at like the First World War, what was the number one killer? It was artillery.
Oh, yeah.
So you look at the old steel pod helmets. They were really good at stopping frag, right? They were actually pretty good at insulating against blast effects too, but they weren't good at stopping bullets. You start moving along to say, closer to the present day when fires get a lot more up close and personal and precise, you don't see so much artillery. You got to change the kind of armor and protective gear you build it anyway. I don't know if anybody's ever actually created a no kidding one size fits all, obviously, except for Jason and Nick, with the Leej armor. But, that's it too, is it doesn't make the old stuff bad. It just was designed to do something completely different. If you're really trying to protect against Arty, you don't need the same stuff that you need for CQB.
Right. Yeah, and even with the Legion armor, we didn't want to make it, pure plot armor, right? So even in Legionnaire, you have the Kravitz character, and just all right, yeah, it stops a projectile, but right up into that thigh, and you can't sit there in a full on spacesuit, just like we talked about just recently with Walt here telling us about the Dragon Scale armor. You can't show up like Hulkbuster, Iron Man. And be like, okay, we're ready for battle. If you're also going to be a fast, rapid deploying shock troop, that's really not going to work. So I don't know that there's ever going to be a way to get rid of that. Like you have to sacrifice one for the other.
Yeah. Matt, did you have something you wanted to throw out? Nah.
No, I've pretty much, I can't really say or piggyback too much of what you've said there too. It's just, look, much as our stuff's really good here in Australia, whatever like that, US has got a lot more R&D in this sort of area, so I can't really say too much.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, you always want function over form if you can, but I mean,
Yeah.
it would be nice to have something durable, light, flexible. But I mean, if you look at some of the stuff that's out there, like some of these range daddies they're using like that flexible plate armor, and you're just like, what the hell is this? And they say it's rated for 3 or 4 plus, level 3 or level 4 plus, but I don't know about you, but something that's only half an inch thick, that's flexible, you get hit with that, especially if it's under 50 meters with like an AK-47 or something big, like like a 4.68 or any of the crazy Creedmoor rounds coming out. You're gonna have a bad day. You might live, but you might regret the fact that you did.
Yeah, I mean that force has got to go somewhere, right? Like it's not just going to be like, okay, fine, we'll just bounce back to the user, fine.
Hell yeah. So what are the mercs wearing? We hear like we hear a little bit about it in Takeover, and like the units there. But like, what are some of the mercs wearing? Are they just wearing like plate carriers? Or are they wearing semi-legion stuff?
No, I think that they're, in my mind, they're wearing semi-legion stuff for a couple of reasons. One, I don't see the House of Reason not wholesaling the old Legion armor after they went out with the shinies. Like maybe stripping it of some capabilities, but I can see them, if there's money to be had, taking it. And then two, I think one of the complaints was that R&D was so far behind in the Republic, right? Like lots of money went into R&D, but they were, the guys that controlled those companies, who also happened to be in the House of Reason and Senate, were happy to just keep the money coming in, but not actually produce. It was a lot bigger profit margin if you never make a product. Yeah. So, the way I see it is that, yeah, it's out there. It's out there to be had if you've got the money, kind of like we see with the Winters character in Takeover. If you've got the money, you can get armor that, at least from a protective standpoint, is going to be as good as that Mark 100 armor that you have in Legionnaire. And really, the Legion should be, many iterations beyond that. What we're going to find out in season 2 is that they're going to have a bit of a visionary leader, and he's going to get things back on track. So without, I don't think this is really a big spoiler, but I think Chun's vision of what the Legion ought to be is the Legion ought to be the premier fighting force in the galaxy, which is capable of stopping any threat kind of internally, or any threat like they found from the Cybar externally. So if the Savages were to come back, in Chun's thinking, we are the ones that have to be able to stop them. And that means we have to have the absolute best equipment, the best training, the best everything. And that's what he's wanting to turn the Legion into. Whether or not he gets to is another question.
Right on.
This sounds like trying to mass produce the Legion, though, would be a bit counterproductive, though. That's kind of the plot tension, I guess, right? Because you can't mass produce them guys.
Yeah, you can't mass produce the Legion. But what you can do is stop holding them back, right? Like, I think you can make sure that the Legionnaires you do have are fully equipped, fully functional, and when they go in to go Legion, kind of like Keller, I'd say Keller quasi did, because I think Keller wanted to make a point and not use some of the air assets he had. But I think that what you're going to see Chun move towards is not, let's get more Legionnaires, but let's let the Legionnaires do Legion things, and then let's smartly use the other forces like the Republic Marines, the Navy, really the Air Force are just Navy featherheads at this point. But let's use these guys to maximum advantage, so that we can be a preeminent fighting force capable of taking down any threat that we've already seen. That, I think that's kind of his view, is a more holistic view, which is what they went towards in Retribution, when you kind of had a Legion expeditionary fleet, and you had those naval ships and officers who stayed on the side of Article 19, saying, all right, our ship is yours. And I think tactically that was what allowed the Legion, despite being so depleted, to fight their way back and then kind of rebuild and take over Utopion again.
So with their favorite friend Bear, are they going to rethink their position on cybernetics, or are they going to keep it straight meat all the way to the street?
I think one of the things Nick and I have talked about is that there's this sort of an off the page situation in the Savage Wars where, as casualties mounted up, hey, you had no choice. Regeneratives sound great, right? But I guess the way I always picture regeneratives is, we can grow your arm back and you'll get you'll get an arm 1.0. But do we have the ability to buff that arm out for you to get it sort of combat efficient in a meaningful amount of time? If you're right up against the wall, the fastest way is just to replace it with cybernetics. So, okay, that works for a while. What happens when you come up against a savage enemy that says, 1/3 of this fighting force is cybernetic? We shut them down. Look what happens. And it does happen. And so I think Rex, being a student of his own history, guides the Legion kind of into that protocol. Does Chun reconsider it? I think he does. I think that you don't say you're out of the Legion. I think that you put people in positions where they can still serve capably. And I think Bear is in one of those positions in Dark Ops now. But do you want an entire fighting unit able to be compromised? We tried to show that a bit again in Retribution when we had what was it, Styx? When we had Styx come back and just sort of see, well, here's what happens when that leg goes out and now you've got this heavy piece of cybernetic equipment stuck to you, and the rest of your team is still having to move. What do you do then? And what do you do if you multiply that on a really big scale and half the battlefield can't leave their foxhole?
Right on. So with that kind of outlook, are we going to, in season 2, are we going to see the shinies again, or are they going to go back to armor that worked?
Yeah, no, they're definitely, I think even as far as Retribution went, they started breaking out the armor that worked as soon as they were able to liberate some depots and things like that. But in season 2, part of what we're going to see is a sort of Legion 2.0, and that's going to include an updated next gen armor and a whole lot of things that sort of go along with that.
So do the Legion police get the shiny armor then?
The Legion MPs?
Yeah. No. Or the Republic police get the shiny armor then?
Yeah, no. That's a good joke. I'm going to try to work that in. If we come across a Z outpost or something like that, we'll just have every tin pot dictator in his army wearing shinies, wearing shiny cast-offs. I think that's probably the way it goes down.
I just imagine the Z gate guards with 2 or 3 pieces of shiny kit on, and the Leeches just look at him and go, "That's not going to help you, buddy."
Yeah, I can see that, and I can see the Coobs kind of doing the same thing. Legion armor, just kind of.
Oh my God! Well, I mean, the Coobs have that new updated rifle kit from Takeover. I mean, that's some scary stuff.
Yeah, and that was just the idea. Was just can you mix a slug thrower with that kind of bolt technology and say, well, what if it's a blaster bolt, but it's just a big old round at the same time? Can you do both? And kind of a why not both question. So we thought, why not? It's not like we're actually studying the physics here. Let's just do it. So.
That's fantastic. Before we lock it back up, run up the ramp, and launch back for Skies Unknown, any parting thoughts, especially regarding Mission 22?
No, I just ask that you guys, support it if you can. If you can't, hey, we totally get that too. But just be there. Share the posts when you see them. We are going to be sending out some emails, and those emails are going to include stories like the one that Walt just shared, just to kind of help get awareness. But share those stories, share the posts when you see them, talk about it, because the big thing is not for us to sell merchandise. It's not even to get a bunch of money to Mission 22, as good of a cause as that is. The big thing is to help the people that need help, right? It's a national shame that we so often send people to foreign shores. We put people through so much in the name of our country, and too often what's waiting for them back at home is lacking when you compare it to what we ask them to give. And this is a way that you can, in a very small, easy way, right? Slacktivism. All you have to do, post, share it, things like that if you can't give. But this is a very easy way to at least kind of put some light on that. And I know it's hard because I know everybody wants to talk about the election right now and share their thoughts on that. But, you know, this is something that I'm just going to say is bigger than all that, right? Like this is, each one of these stories is not just one life shattered. It's multiple lives shattered, right? It is multiple people impacted in a very real way, in a way that you can't make up or maintain in another 4 years' time. So, you know, do what you can. We appreciate it. Help us get the word out. And, you know, even in asking that, I know you guys will, because this is the best damn community in science fiction. And it's not even close.
Right on. We really appreciate you coming out and especially appreciate the donation to the community from the proceeds. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's you guys too, right? It's all of us together. So yeah, get your Galaxy's Edge swag, wear it proud, rep the edge, but know that it's going to a good cause that's not named Nick or Jason, right? Like it's another good cause not named Nick or Jason.
Right on. Boys on the panel, final thoughts, or am I kicking the tires and lighting the fires?
Dan, you want me to announce it, or
Matt, you take it away. You got the great voice.
The great voice sometimes. Okay, so I may not have been fully active in the Discord and too much on the Facebook lately. As some of you know, I've doing id Software and Bethesda things with Doom Eternal for streaming that. However, I have done in the past a charity stream for Mission 22. It was the Elite Dangerous stream where I spent 27 hours straight flying across the galaxy. We raised about $2,500 USD total for that. It's happening again, but not in Elite Dangerous. So Dan and I are going to do anywhere from a 4 to 8 hour VR stream in the first week of December for Mission 22. Everything from Beat Saber to Pavlov VR to Onward VR, you name it. We're just going to do VR nonstop. So please get on that. We raised a lot of money for Mission 22 last time, and I mean a lot. I mean, compared to, I only got less than 1,000 follows on stream, but it was a great cause, and it was an awesome time too. And you're going to have some awesome VR shenanigans happening in that first week of December. I'm not going to guarantee I won't throw up, but we'll see how we go.
I'm going to say it's going to be fun to finally get to verse you and Beat Saber and see if we can work off some weight, actually, playing some songs, some Linkin Park or something like that, right?
As long as you don't do any Mick Gordon's Doom Eternal soundtrack, where I will have to practically go speed of light because of how fast and awesome his stuff is. We're in for that. But we'll do a tactical game of Pavlov VR, which is essentially it's CS:GO and then Squad in VR. And it's like you hold up your VR controllers and look at your weapon at close range. It's completely detailed. You can see inside the chamber. You have to reload it properly, the whole lot. And yeah, it's crazy. VR is a gimmick, I agree, but half the time you do feel like you're there and you're doing intense combat when you're moving around going, fuck, where are they? You got to physically lean around corners and look at people. So if someone's there with a Spaz 12 aiming straight at your head, you're gone.
Now, Daniel mentioned playing the Linkin Park. If we show up and donate on the stream, do we get to choose what songs you guys have to play to?
Of course. Yeah.
Wonderful.
The
song
it's gonna be straight Whitney Houston, just $1 after $1 and make you guys just play.
But it is limited to the official songs that's released on the game, because the PC version that Matt has, he can load in songs. It takes a little bit more time, but for the version I have, it's literally what's available on the PlayStation Store and what they've put out to the community. So
Whitney Houston and Celine Dion.
Matt just
maybe a little Lewis just to mix it up, but yeah,
Matt just out of spite,
aggro.
I'll show up and I'll get you to play Rip and Tear on 360 expert mode, just to watch you jump around.
This is my headset here. It's the HTC Vive Cosmos with 6 cameras, which I can see when I'm inside my whole house at the same time when I want to switch. This cost me $1,200, but it was worth it.
$1,200 US.
Yeah. Australian, so about $700-800 US.
Yeah,
something like that.
They're worth it though. Like if you like video games and you think VR would be something cool, I've got the Gen 1 Vive and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. My Twitch link, by the way, is I'll Oh, I shouldn't. I'll announce it. Twitch.tv/Ingramat. Same name as here. I'll put out something in the Galaxy Edge group closer to the date and in the Discord too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to the panel for coming out. We want to thank everybody that stuck around. Oh, you got something else? Go ahead. Hit it.
I was gonna say you should let Moggs and the Archangel say any last words too.
Oh yeah, hit it.
Nah, man, I'm ready. Light this candle.
Moggs?
I got nothing.
The
Thanks,
veterans,
Daniel.
man. The veterans.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's
I keep you honest.
Yes, you do. It's 16:29 on a Friday, and you get that one NCO that's like, he's talking to the specialist on the side, and he's saying, anybody raises their hand to ask a question, you slap them and slap the taste out of their mouth.
Just reiterate what the CEO said. Mate, I don't care. I just want to go home.
Let me piggyback on that. Oh, there you go.
Oh my god.
He's sitting there like this going, I just want to go home and get drunk. Shut up, CEO. Anyway.
And that's how it's done in the Galaxy's Edge. We'll catch you next time.